Today we are dividing polynomials by a binomial. So our first step is to factor the numerator. The numerator is this top number. We're used to seeing something like this. This is a trinomial. So we would create our x, or our box, and we would fill in what we know. We know the x squared term goes in the first box, and the constant goes in the last box. From there, normally we would use the x puzzle, but if you notice here, we already have one of our factors. We're going to put that on the side. And now we're going to use that to help us figure out the rest of it. What do we know? X squared divided by x equals x. Now what's negative 8 divided by negative 1? Positive 8. There's our other factor. We can always check ourselves by going back and doing multiplication. 8 times x is 8x. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. Add those together. 8x plus negative 1x. That equals 7x. Is that what we got here? Yes, that's how I know I did it correctly. So now what we'll do is we will rewrite the numerator as its factors. So on the top, we now have x minus 1 and x plus 8. And the bottom is still that x minus 1. So now it says cancel out the common factors. Look what they have in common, the x minus 1 and the x minus 1. We're going to cancel those. The remaining factors are our answer, so our answer is the x plus 8. So let's go ahead and try several examples together. So let's look at number 1. So we'll start out by creating our box. X squared goes in the first box, constant in the last box. We'll use the bottom part as our factor that we know. Divide. X squared divided by x is x. 21 divided by negative 7 is going to be negative 3. Check ourselves. Negative 3 times x. Negative 7 times x. Negative 7x plus negative 3x is negative 10x. Yes, that matches this, so I know I did it correctly. So now we rewrite our two factors. We've got on the top x minus 3, x minus 7. Those come from our sides. The x minus 7 is still on bottom. Find which ones have in common. X minus 7. The remainder is x minus 3. So let's try the next one. Write our box. Y squared in the first box, our constant in the last box. Our denominator on the side. So now we divide. Y squared divided by y. Negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. So now we check ourselves. Negative 5 times y. Y times 5. Add them. Negative 5y plus 5y. Look what they do to each other. They cancel and equal 0. We have no middle term, so this checks out. So now we can rewrite. So now we have y minus 5 and y plus 5 divided by y plus 5. The two y plus 5's cancel, and we're left with y minus 5. Our next one. 2x squared in the top box, negative 12 in the bottom box. 2x minus 3 on the side. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. Negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. So now we multiply to figure it out. 4 times 2x is 8x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 8x plus negative 3x equals 5x. That's our middle term, so that checks out. From there, we rewrite our two factors. X plus 4, 2x minus 3. Divided by 2x minus 3. These two canceled. We're left with x plus 4. All right, last example we're going to do together. 16x squared, negative 1. 4x plus 1 on the side. Divide. 16x squared divided by 4x is 4x. Negative 1 divided by positive 1 is negative 1. Check ourselves. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. 4x times 1 is 4x. Add those. Notice they cancel, equals 0. We have no middle term, so it works out. So now we write out our factors. 4x minus 1, 4x plus 1, divided by 4x plus 1. Notice 4x plus 1s are in common, so we have our remainder, 4x minus 1. We'll do 2, 4, 6, and 8 in class tomorrow.